Hey guys, and welcome back. Well, Biggie Smalls, Notorious Big, and his mom are together again. Yes, Voletta Wallace, the mother of the Brooklyn rapper, the Notorious B.I.G., whose stewardship of her son's career and of his legacy after he was killed in 1997 helped cement him as a hip hop legend. She died on Friday. She was 78 years old. Now, her death, she was in hospice care at her home in Pennsylvania. A middle class immigrant and single mother from Jamaica, Miss Wallace was forced into the hip hop spotlight after the Notorious B.I.G., born Christopher Wallace and also known as Biggie Smalls, was killed at 24 in an LA drive-by shooting. Now, Biggie's death came just 6 months after the Las Vegas slaying of the rapper Tupac Shakur, a one-time friend turned bitter rival. Now, the killing abruptly ended a formative and fruitful moment in mainstream gangster rap amid a tangled East Coast West Coast beef that went far beyond music. Now, for decades, both cases remained unsolved, fueling an ecosystem of true crime books, documentaries, articles, and more that have tried to explain the possible links between the two killings, including the involvement of national gangs and crook cop. Now, in 2023, prosecutors in Las Vegas charged Dwayne Keith Davis, a former gang leader known as Keith D, with murder in the Shakur case. He is set to stand trial this year. Now, Miss Wallace, a preschool teacher, took on the mantle of her son's career almost immediately. Now, Biggie's second album, Life After Death, came out 2 weeks after he died. 6 months later, Miss Wallace accepted the MTV Video Music Award for the Best Rap Video, Hypnotized, telling the New York crowd, "I know if my son was here tonight, the first thing he would have done is say big up to Brooklyn." Now, 2 years later, she appeared alongside Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mother, at the same award show, urging unity and the preservation of their son's legacy. Now, Miss Wallace would go on to work with other mothers of musicians who died young through her Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation and its B.I.G. Books Instead of Guns Night Out. Now, she said, "All I want to do is put a book into a child's hand because books do not kill. Now, books do not murder, but weapons do." Now, in 2002, Miss Wallace and her son's widow, the singer Faith Evans, filed a wrongful death suit against the city of Los Angeles, accusing the LA Police Department of covering up police involvement in the killing. A 2005 trial ended in a mistrial, with a judge ruling that the police had intentionally withheld evidence and ordering the city to pay the estate's legal fees. Now, an amended version of the suit filed by Biggie's estate in 2007 estimated financial losses at $500 million. Now, that case was dismissed in 2010 to avoid interfering with what the estate called a reinvigorated criminal investigation. Now, the family only wanted justice to be done. Now, despite the lack of closure in the case, Miss Wallace continued to spread the Notorious B.I.G.'s story across popular culture. She was credited as a producer and played by Angela Bassett as a saint with a powerful tongue. As one review put it, in the 2009 biopic Notorious, even coaching the actor Jamal Woodlord, who played her son. "I felt like I sometimes intimidated him during the film," Ms. Wallace said. "I felt bad for that, but as a producer, my job is to be there." Now, in a 2021 documentary, Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell, Miss Wallace recalled her musical influence on her son, Shy Son, from their days in the Bedford section of Brooklyn, where he was exposed to a mix of reggae, jazz, and her personal favorite, country music. Now, ever since I was a little girl, I liked stories, Miss Wallace said. When he was a little boy, I always had the radio on and tuned into the country music station. I love my Willie Nelson, my Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings. He listened to it all with me because he had no other choice. Now, for years, Miss Wallace was a reliable presence alongside the music executive, Sean Diddy Combs, who helped discover Biggie and who also shepherded his legacy after his death. But she was unequivocal last year as Mr. Combs was accused of widespread sexual abuse and indicted on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Now, Biggie's mom said, "I hope that I see Sean one day, and the only thing I wanted to do is slap the daylights out of him." And you can quote me on that, Miss Wallace told Rolling Stone, because I liked him. I didn't want to believe all the awful things, but I'm so ashamed and embarrassed of him. Yes. And when they asked him, rumors were out that Diddy had something to do with Biggie's death, she said, I'm not gonna comment on that. Mm, mm, mm. Well, this tribute is about Biggie's mom and her legacy and her son, so we're not going to even speak on that either. I just want to say that my condolences goes out to the families, and I'll be praying for this family, and hopefully you'll be praying for them too.